the camera. Give it off, down.
Give it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to December. It's December. It's the end of the year.
Oh, how's November? How's November in film?
It was all right.
It's okay. It's not too
alright.
bad. November's when a lot of commercial stuff comes out. Like they want to make a lot of money before Thanksgiving.
The big Thanksgiving releases.
December is more kind of a
sort of when the Oscar season really starts. Pow! The big stuff, like the big little stuff.
Yeah, it's a good description of it. Big little stuff. Things that make like $20-30 million maybe, but they always seem to wind up winning.
Maybe don't open on more than 300 screens, ever.
It was like Hurt Locker. Hurt Locker made like $12 million, but then it wound up.
It also came out in July, so that's not a good example. But anyway, so what we thought we would do on this here little feature is just sort of go down the list of film releases for this December and sort of let you know when these limited release films are going to be coming to theaters and like when they'll be expanding, et cetera, and so on and so forth. So in this list, you will not be finding us talking about things like, say, Narnia or Little Fockers or Yogi Bear, because these are not the movies we're trying to steer you towards necessarily, because they're not going to win any awards.
I don't know. Little Fockers could win some Razzies. I'm guessing.
It's not the award season we're looking at right now. Anywho, so without further ado, why don't we just jump right into this?
Let's do it.
So, The King's Speech it's actually been out sort of in limited release for the last couple of weekends. It's expanding very slowly. Sure. This is the one that people are talking about as sort of the front runner for the Oscar right now.
This was like a couple years ago, Dreamgirls. Everyone was talking about Dreamgirls as like the Oscar frontrunner, but like months before it came out, and this is kind of that movie. So you always have to be careful about movies like this, where people are like, "Oh, it's going to be the because people are talking about this in like July."
But then again,
apparently it's really good though.
You have Colin Firth, you have Jeffrey Rush, you have Helena Bonham Carter. Great cast, supposedly
terrible poster.
Terrible poster, but a supposedly very witty movie. So
I'm looking forward to it. As somebody who's gone through speech therapy.
There you go. Also, as of last weekend, the limited release of Black Swan hit. So this is Aronofsky's sort of examination of art as obsession, and that kind of rivalry between various like different artists.
Single white ballerina,
totally. With hot and heavy lesbian sex scene between Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis. Which I'm sure is the reason half the people who would go see that movie would go see it. I'm going to go see it for the art, thanks. But yeah, so that's opening. That opened last weekend. Should be in more wide release as of this coming weekend. So that's definitely a front runner to check out as well. And then there's I Love You, Philip Morris, which also finally saw its limited release this past weekend.
It's had a complicated tale of being delayed, and finally is going to get released. So usually that's a bad sign, but this movie actually looks kind of interesting. So.
Well, the thing about it is that it's I think studios were a little hesitant to actually put it out because it is about a gay relationship between Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor, and it apparently has some rather bawdy scenes of man-on-man action. So
not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's not at all, but you know how studios can be sometimes. So that's unfortunate, but hey, it's out, and hopefully you can find it. Maybe even when it expands next weekend. But I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
Okay, let's do it.
And then speaking of things I'm looking forward to, though maybe not so much the rest of the world, last weekend saw the very limited release of Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale.
Is that a music thing?
No, that is the Killer Santa Claus movie.
Oh, okay.
From the Nordics. So
I think I've seen the trailer for that. Yeah.
This will not be winning any awards. However, I just felt like I needed to slide that in there because, dude, that thing looks batshit.
Moving on.
Yes, go on.
The Tourist has been kind of flying under the radar here. I haven't really heard a lot about it. I haven't seen a lot of trailers or anything like that. But it's Johnny Depp.
The trailers have been popping up more in theaters, but I haven't seen a lot of TV ads for it.
Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie should get some business. Looks delightful in that weird kind of.
It has a very casual espionage kind of feel to
European, lark.
The thing that's interesting to me about it is that it's the director of The Lives of Others making this movie, which seems like a completely crazy departure from the sort of like very somber
Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing.
By all means. I
don't know what voice that is.
I'm just curious like what that's actually going to turn into. So
it's interesting. The talent alone makes it interesting to me. So.
Most definitely.
I'm looking forward to The Tempest.
I know you are.
It's coming out the 10th, but it's probably not going to be very wide until later this month. It's
going to expand on the 17th. It looks like.
Shakespeare is always interesting for award stuff, but this looks...
It's Tamor, though. It's Julie Taymor.
Taymor, who's also pretty good for award stuff as well. Yeah. She famously made Anthony Hopkins want to retire from acting when she directed him in Titus.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this should be interesting, at least. Maybe she can make Russell Brand retire. I don't know.
Who knows? Probably not. No, he's got that hip hop Easter Bunny movie coming out later, so that I don't think we're gonna get rid of him. But yeah, it looks very interesting, and I mean, I'm up and down on Tamor. Sometimes I think her spectacle is too much, but I'm interested in seeing it, and I mean, it's got to be better than that Spider-Man musical, right?
No, I've heard bad things.
Yeah.
Talking about Oscar bait, though.
Yes.
Talking about Oscar bait, though. What's next on our list?
Oh, that was my cue to actually say this. All right. Well, there's also opening on the 10th in limited release is The Fighter, the boxing Mark Wahlberg boxing movie.
Arms, dude. You see
He's got super arms. Christian Bale went and did the crazy weight loss thing again.
I helped train Wahlberg for this role.
And it's David O. Russell, who
is apparently, like, as far as I've heard, crazy director. Nobody wants to work with him after they work with him once.
Yeah.
This will be the third movie he and Wahlberg's done together. So
somehow they get along, out of all people.
What?
But,
no.
It looks interesting. I'm a little down on the sort of like rise to fame sports movie thing.
Yeah, it's a little cliche. I think Wahlberg should have had his character from The Happening be the boxer here. And just, I don't know. I think he should be the Happening character in every movie now.
What? No.
No. What?
And then also in limited release on December 10th is The Company Men.
What? No.
Yes. No, it is. No. This is the sort of.
Oh, this is the ensemble cast.
Ensemble cast,
thing.
Downsizing drama.
Ben Affleck.
It's. I think Chris Cooper might be in it. It's based in Boston, so it's another Boston movie.
No.
Yeah. Looks supremely depressing, but at the same time could be a very good one. Don't know yet. We'll see. That's limited release again, December 10th. Might be expanding somewhere down the road there as well.
And speaking of limited releases, Tron Legacy is coming out December 17th.
Yeah, little movie.
Nobody really knows the movie it's based on.
Not much about.
Honestly, this is probably going to be the biggest movie of December for a lot of people.
It would have to be.
We're going to have a whole week of stuff going up around the time.
We're
going to try first Tron Week. On screen.com, so look forward to that, but I will say more about Tron Legacy when it comes out. If you haven't heard of this movie, get out from under your cave. But that's a big movie. That'll be the big things this week. We'll have a screening room for Tron. We'll have all kinds of features coming up, so stay tuned to screen.com for that.
But there are limited releases that week as well.
Oh, Christmas. We're still on 17th. God, it's taking forever to get to
these movies. There's a lot of movies, dude.
Gosh, darn.
Rabbit Hole, which is the new movie from John Cameron Mitchell, who directed Hedwig
That's the
and
weirdest
Short
thing.
Bus,
which is making like a relationship drama.
Well, it's based on a stage play.
Okay. I can see that because Hedwig was based on a stage musical.
But still, this is really dour territory.
How do you feel about Hedwig?
I like Hedwig.
Hedwig's
a good movie.
Good fucking soundtrack.
Oh, very good.
Rabbit Hole, anyway, though, is a
Nicole Kidman
relationship drama. They lose their son. They're talking Oscars for both her and Aaron Eckhart, which I fucking love Aaron Eckhart. So I'd love to see him get a nomination. But apparently it's supposed to have some comedy in there too after them losing their son. Trailer makes it look really dour, but apparently it's supposed to be kind of a black comedy as well. Also, Casino Jack, which is
the dramatization of the Jack Abramoff thing, which apparently Spacey is very, very good in, from what I've heard.
Good, because he's been mailing in for a while.
Yeah,
he's been kind of up and down. He's chased Oscar before with that what was that musical thing he did with Kate Boswell? Bobby Darin.
That's right. He did do the Bobby Darin thing. I forgot all about that. But yeah, so those both of those will be opening on December 17th, and both will be expanding on December 24th.
Also
known
as
Christmas Eve, by the way. Speaking of Christmas, now that we're getting into the week of Christmas, most stuff's opening on Wednesday.
Yes.
Most noteworthy of the bunch being the Coen brothers' ostensible remake of True Grit.
Originally scheduled for Christmas Day. It's going to be kind of a darker, I think it's PG-13, right?
It's PG-13.
Okay.
It might be R, but whatever the case.
You ever seen the original True Grit?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch. Very famous John Wayne role, but they've remade it, and apparently close to the book that the movie is based on, because the movie kind of glossed over some of the harsher parts of the book.
Yeah, purportedly a little darker, but
looks great though.
Dude, it's the Coen brothers and Jeff Bridges. I'm gonna see it. That's all there is to it. So
Matt Damon looks great in it too.
Maybe I'm a little less excited about, but I know you're very interested in, is Country Strong.
I grew up with country in my household. Listened to a lot of Alabama, a lot of Oak Ridge Boys. The movie, it looks like it probably will be kind of lame, but I kind of like the.
Apparently Gwyneth Paltrow can sing, so there might be some good music there.
What? No! Sorry.
That's good.
Country Strong, though, it's got Garrett Hedlund, who I'm curious to see if he can act at all. We'll know more when Tron comes out, obviously, but Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm curious what country music fans will think of Gwyneth Paltrow being in a country music
That will be interesting.
Thing, but hey.
So that's limited release December 22nd. That is going full wide release first week of January.
Oh, okay, so that's weird. Huh.
Yeah.
You would think they'd get out there before Christmas, so who knows?
Yeah. Also, December 22nd is Somewhere, the new Sofia Coppola movie, starring Stephen Dorff.
Stephen Dorff and Elle Fanning? Dakota Fanning?
I think it's Elle Fanning.
I don't know, one of those two.
But anyway, so this is the movie where he hangs out at the Chateau Marmont. He's an actor.
Another hotel-based
It has
movie.
a real Lost in Translation vibe to it, and people have not been talking an awful lot about that movie, so I'm not sure.
I've heard up and down things.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure what to make of it at this point, but it's Sofia Coppola. It's probably worth at least giving a look-see to. Don't know when that one's expanding, but it will be out limited release on the 22nd. Now there is one movie that is out on Christmas Day, and that is the French animated film The Illusionist.
I've seen bits and pieces.
We have a trailer
Looks
on the site. It's a very sort of old school animation type thing. It's sort of one of those stories.
Oh, it's like one of those entirely hand animated. Like,
entirely hand animated, and it is all like, and the story itself is all about sort of like keeping a lost art going type stuff. So it's French. It's very French, but I imagine it will probably be. I'm actually very much looking forward to that one. So
okay, cool. I didn't mean to dismiss it, but I'm lying.
And then there are a couple of December 29th releases still out there. One of which is, unfortunately, I think, been shoved around because of its NC-17 rating.
They're suing for that, apparently.
That is Blue Valentine, the Ryan Gosling, Michelle Williams relationship drama.
Weinstein brothers are fighting that. It's apparently really
I hope they win. I hope they win, because as far as I'm aware, there's nothing in that movie that seems like it should even have that. So.
The point they made was that Jackass 3D had full frontal male nudity.
Yeah.
And it's rated R. This doesn't have any of that. Yeah, it's NC-17.
Just seems weird. But I mean, that's a really good cast. I've heard nothing but stellar things about the movie since it first started hitting the festival circuit. So I really want to see that one.
We'll fight for the review.
Okay. There's also Beautiful.
I don't know much about this movie. I know it's a Spanish movie starring Javier Bardem, but everybody's saying Javier Bardem is basically a lock for Best Actor.
Okay.
Based on this, we'll see. I don't know. It's tough to win as a foreign language performance. I know who's the Italian guy who did for It's a Simple Life, Beautiful Life.
Oh yeah,
the director Roberto
Benigni. Yeah, Benigni. Roberto Benigni.
He did it. It's pretty rare to happen though, so we'll see if Bardem can pull it off. He's an amazing actor.
I think people are high enough on him that he can pull it off.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, that's about it for December, I think.
So
those are the highlights. There's some lowlights along the way. You're probably not going to want to see Gulliver's Travels or Little Fockers or Yogi Bear. There's going to be some shit in there too.
We'll see them, so you don't have to necessarily.
Yes, probably.
But hey, who knows? Yogi Bear might be great.
What? No.
But with that said, we'll be going out of our way to try and get reviews out of as many of these movies as we possibly can. Certainly the ones that appear in San Francisco.
What? No.
Yeah.
Stop.